This video is for choral conducting students at UKZN who are in Choral Studies 3. In this video, we are going to look at two pieces which you are going to be required to conduct for your exam. And what I'm going to show you is some basics about how to prepare these pieces on your own. The first one is called Ubi Caritas by the French composer Duruflé. You'll need to find this on your Moodle page and download it so that you can look at the score while I'm speaking to you now. So if you haven't got it in front of you, pause this video and make sure that you can see the score while I am demonstrating this to you. Now that you're back with me with the score, I want you to look at the first page. One of the most difficult things about this piece, as you will see, is that the time signature changes almost every bar, which means that you need to be completely fluent with the changes of meter. So the first thing that I want you to practice on your own before you even start deciding how you're going to interpret the piece is, how do I conduct all of the beat patterns without even worrying about it? If we look at the first two lines, for example, it starts in 2/4, then it goes to 3/4, then to 4/4, then to 1/4. So take that as a little exercise and practice it until you can do it without thinking. So here it is, for example, starting with 2/4. 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 1, 4. Watch that again. Here's the 2/4 up and down, 3/4 goes out and up, 4/4, and 1/4. Now that is the pattern of the beginning, but as you'll go through the piece, you'll see that it does different patterns. So you'll need to practice small parts of this piece so that you get used to the different patterns as they go through. Make sure that you have analyzed the piece very, very carefully before you try conducting the whole thing. Now go to the last page of the piece, page 4, and you'll find that in the second line of that piece you have a 4/4 bar followed by a 1/4 bar followed by 5/8, which is a very difficult change, and I'm going to demonstrate how we're going to do that. We're going to have to subdivide the beats for the 5/8 bar. So when you're conducting 4/4 normally, 1, 2, 3, 4, then the 1/4 bar, and then you're going to conduct in quavers. So we've been conducting in crotchets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then into 3, 4 again. Watch as I do that slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to carry on as normal. Watch one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So you're keeping the underlying quavers exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what your aim is going to be. Those are the most difficult, or that is the most difficult section of the whole piece. So make sure that you've got that really tied down. The other way that you could do it if you weren't going to subdivide is something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So that you just make two movements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. You can use whichever one is most comfortable for you and whichever one is going to keep the tempo consistent for you. Either may work, but make sure that you're keeping the tempo consistent. So my advice to you in this piece is to make sure before you start putting any interpretation into it, that you first get the beats absolutely correct, the beat patterns absolutely correct. Remember how I showed you the first page. Now, I'm going to play a little recording of this piece for you. The recording is also on your Moodle page, so you can listen to it over and over again. That is the recording which you are going to conduct for your exam. So you're not going to have a choir in front of you, you're just going to have the recording. So you're almost bound to the way that this person has interpreted the piece. But I just want to show you what you might be able to do to demonstrate what this conductor is doing. So I'm going to play a little section of it for you now and conduct it along with the piece. Now, if we just looked at that beginning section, and I'll do it again for you in a minute, the most difficult part is picking up with the conductor. When you're working with a recording, it's very difficult to come in exactly at the right time. We understand that as examiners, and that's fine. But you'll need to pick up the tempo as soon as you can after that. What you'll notice is that this conductor, when you get to the words Ubi Caritas et amor, slows down the tempo slightly there. When you're in the middle of the 4 pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to have to also learn how to do the pattern going 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll demonstrate it again just now. You'll also notice that the conductor in this particular version, in the 1/4 bar, actually pauses there. So you've got Ubi Caritas et amor Deus ibi est, which is much longer than one actual beat. So make sure that you've listened to this example so many times that you know exactly what to do. Let's listen to it one more time and I'll show you how to conduct that. So here's the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, off. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, off. So, you're going to want to work on that so that you can do it fluently. When we're looking at you as examiners, we want to see that you're completely at home with this interpretation and that your hand is giving the right signals for the singers at the right time. Now, the second piece which you are also going to conduct for your exam is something completely different. It's called Recitative. This is from either an opera or a much larger oratorio or something like that. You'll be familiar with Recitative. Usually it's accompanied by a harpsichord and some string players. But you get 2 types of Recitative. One is called Recitative secco. Secco means dry. And that's the very simplest type of recitative. That's when a harpsichord player will play a chord, and the singer will go, I have a piece of string, it's a piece of string which is very long. The long piece of string is doing nothing for me. Usually that kind of recitative is not conducted. So you as the conductor just let the singer and the harpsichord player deal with that on their own. But then you get something called recitative accompagnato, which is accompanied recitative. The example which you are going to conduct for your exam is a combination between recitative secco and recitative accompagnato. It comes from the Messiah, so you'll probably know the piece quite well. But it's quite difficult to conduct because it has this give and take between strict rhythmic patterns and then much more flexible ones. So I want you to download the score for that so that you can look at it, because I'm going to discuss a little bit of that with you now. So pause the video, make sure you've got the score, and then we'll continue. Now that you have the score, just have a look at the very beginning. It starts badam, 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 badam. Thus saith the Lord. And when you watch the video that I've provided for you, you'll see that the conductor is very vigorous. He starts like this. Badam, 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 ba ba. so that you get a very strong feeling straight away. That's important. You want to get a very militaristic kind of interpretation. Watch again. Ba 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 ba. Now the rest of this section, this little A section or the beginning section, is in free time. So it's very difficult to conduct. You've got to be ready all the time. So if you look at bar 3, for example, before that the singer has said, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts." Ba-dum, ba-bam. You've got to be ready on the third beat, not on the first beat, because you'll see that the singer is singing beat 1, beat 2. You have to give a strong third beat so that the players are ready, and the fourth beat. So it'll be, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts." Ba-dum, ba-ba. Okay? You've got to be ready all the time. When the music goes into strict time, if you look at your score, it goes into strict time from the second last line, where the singer goes, "And I will shake." That's in strict time. So you've got bum, 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 bum. So I'm going to give a little bit of a demonstration of how to conduct that with the music playing. So here we go.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts.
Now, that's just the first line. If you notice carefully, you'll see that I gave the whole first bar and the first beat of the second bar, but I didn't continue conducting after that. While the singer is singing with no accompaniment, there is no reason to conduct. But then I started again on the third beat, going this way, for the orchestra to join in. So it starts like this. Ba 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 ba. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. Ba dum ba bam. But you have to be ready with that third beat. So listen again. Da di da di da di da. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. As soon as the person is, or the singer is singing Lord, your hand is already getting into position. Watch again. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. Ba-bum, ba-bam. So that the third beat is strong and ready. Let's try it again with the recording so that you can see how it works. By the way, if you watch the video, you'll see a very good conductor at work. So here we go.
Thus saith the Lord,
wait.
the Lord of hosts. Once a little while.
So now you see what that principle is. That's how it works all the way through the first two lines. I'm going to demonstrate that to you, and then I'm going to demonstrate how it transitions into the regular meter. So at this point, there's no regular 1, 2, 3, 4. The singer is at liberty to do what he or she wants. But once we get to the semiquavers in the strings, that is when we know that we've got to be in strict time. So let's go through the whole thing. Watch carefully what I do.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts. Yet once a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land. And I will shake.
Now we're in strict time.
And I will shake.
So once you get to that da 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 da, you're in strict time, and there you're just giving beats for the orchestra. But you see, every time I want the orchestra to be bold, I have to go ba-dum, ba-da. You have to give them a strong beat, otherwise they're not going to react to you. Remember, an orchestra is a large group. They have to see the beat, otherwise they won't know where to come in. So make sure that, particularly for this one, which is quite fast, your beat is clearly down and quite strong, like you're hitting against a wall. Okay? I'll give you one more go with this so that you can see what to do so that you can prepare adequately.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts. Yet once a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land. and I will shake, and I will shake. All nations.
And this stays in standard time. So once you've got to that point, you're just going to stay in standard time. When you get to the letter B in the score, you go back to what was happening at the beginning. It has those ba-ba, ba-ba, and you're going to use exactly the same technique for that. So my advice to you is to listen to this video and to watch the conductor who is conducting in that video many times, because that conductor is superb. You can't always see the conductor because they look at the instrumentalists and the singers. But when they do show the conductor, he's doing exactly the right things. But you also need to know the music of this recording very well, because this is the recording that you're going to conduct in your exam. So you must be able to do the 4 pattern very clearly and be able to pick up the 4 pattern at any point within it. So on beat 2, remember the pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4. So you need to be able to pick up on 2, 2, 3, 4, or on 3, 3, 4, 1, or even on 4, 4, 1. So make sure that you can pick up at any point in that 4-beat pattern. And that's where we end at this video.